File this one in that they still make that file. We've been bombarded with so many cutting edge sport bikes and go anywhere, do anything adventure tourers lately that it's easy to forget about the cruiser segment of the market. And even among the cruising set, the subliter middleweight category hasn't been getting much love. The attention usually goes to the big displacement crowd because, let's face it, cruiser riders have an image to uphold. So recently, as we were browsing through the Kawasaki and Star websites, we came across two models that had us asking, they still make that? The models being the Kawasaki Vulcan 900 Classic LT and Star V-Star 950 Tourer. Then, as we thought about the attention we've been giving to sporty bikes and adventure machines, we realized there are a lot of you who have a limited budget yet want a comfortable touring cruiser with enough guts to get out of its own way. Devoid of any of the technology becoming increasingly abundant on today's motorcycles, both models represent bare bones, reliable cruising. They're both affordable, start up every time, and will get you, your stuff, and your significant other where you want to go in style and comfort. Kind of the cruising equivalent of the Honda Civic, if you will, only more stylish. Similar in price, dimensions, intent and performance. Let's put these two old dogs to the test. At their hearts, both bikes feature the classic V-twin engine architecture, with the $8,999 Vulcan housing a 903cc variant and the $9,790 Star a 942cc version. Neither engine is lacking for shiny chrome bits, though the Star is lacking something the Koi does not, a radiator. On the dyno this translates into 47.3 horses and 54.5 pounds-ft of torque for the air oil-cooled Star. This compared to the liquid-cooled Vulcan and its 42.7 HP and 50.9 pounds-ft. The V-Star's edge in horsepower and torque is available throughout the rev range, but it is particularly noticeable in the meat of the torque curve. The V-Star's edge in horsepower and torque is available throughout the rev range, but it is particularly noticeable in the meat of the torque curve. Neither make groundbreaking power, but both deliver a satisfying amount of torque accompanied by that distinctive V-twin burble. From the seat of the pants dyno Sahan and cruiser editor Evans Brassfield slightly prefer the Star's pulling power, but the Vulcan is no slouch. John Burns, meanwhile, says the Vulcan engine runs smoother, feels more torquey, but the Yamaha gives more of that air-cooled radial aircraft engine feel, because it is air-cooled. Power gets to the rear wheels of both cruisers through 5-speed gearboxes and belts. Floorboards are equipped on both models, heel and toe shifters, too, but JB and TS agreed the Vulcan's transmission was much smoother shifting than the Star's. In the Star's defense, however, it had less than 500 miles on the clock, whereas the Vulcan more than quadrupled that amount. The Star had more grunt around town, but the lack of a sixth gear was conspicuous on the freeway. Note the mild lean angle at which the floorboard touches down. The Star had more grunt around town, but the lack of a sixth gear was conspicuous on the freeway. Note the mild lean angle at which the floorboard touches down. Both of these Japanese cruisers only come with 5 cogs in the tranny, but how each model makes do without a sixth gear is one area where the two have a noticeable difference. Burns, Sahan, and Brassfield all agree a sixth gear would be nice, with Evans being pretty vocal about it. Not having a sixth gear is unforgivable, he says. At highway speeds the vibrations from the Star become quite irritating, particularly in LA traffic where, if the traffic is moving at all, it's going 75 miles per hour. I can't tell you how many times I checked to make sure I was in top gear because the buzziness of the engine kept lying to me and saying I wasn't. Burns adds, what would be wrong with a top gear light? I don't need a GPI, but a little blue light that says you're in top gear would be enough. Meanwhile, The Vulcan runs rather smoothly at 80 miles per hour and the engine doesn't sound terribly stressed at that speed either. It's hard to really know, actually, since it doesn't have a tachometer, neither does the Star. But crank the throttle to pass another vehicle and the Vulcan strains to build velocity and sounds angry that you're asking to go faster.